Brand new week on the Real Kyper Bourne Show. We are live on Sportsnet 360, 590 The Fan in Toronto, streaming always on Sportsnet Plus. Can't catch us live, give us a download, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, always available. Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee, Jake the Snake Schultz, Derek Brandale. April 6th, guys. April 6th.
I know.
Already.
Yeah.
And just 5 games left for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Is that right?
Yeah. We're at the point of the season where guests, our upcoming guests, might be astronauts and poker players. Those are potential guests.
I don't even, I'm not even sure because our trusted Eastern Conference playoff race doesn't include the Leafs now. It doesn't.
They have fallen off the
They're gone.
playoff race board that we keep here.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. But they're still playing?
Yeah, they're not the only Toronto team out of a playoff race.
Oh, no.
Is that your Jays?
No, I'm joking. Listen, you're never gonna go.
Relax.
You're never gonna go into Chicago against the Popes team and get a win on Easter weekend. There's just simply no chance that was gonna happen, boys.
They've got the flu. They're not hitting.
Everybody's hurt now. Kirk's hurt. Barger's apparently hurt.
Kirk being hurt is devastating
I'm
for me
telling you.
personally, the foremost Kirk fan.
There's season from hell potential. Anyways,
I'm starting to see names I've never heard of before.
yeah, it's like you're all excited about the Blue Jays pitching death, and it's some guy named Voth is pitching. In the
Voth, is that a first or last?
His last name.
Voth
He got
Vader?
DFA'd today. I don't know.
All right.
All right. In the meantime, did you guys, not that we talk, but I did hear someone say maybe the most entertaining game of the season for the Leafs?
Well,
was that you guys?
Things happened.
Depends what you think entertaining. Like a dog's breakfast between two teams that look exactly the same.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the Western Conference Leafs, a.k.a. the Kings, playing against the Toronto Maple Leafs.
7-6 loss in overtime where the LA Kings, if I'm not mistaken, entered their 31st
Record.
31st overtime game.
Still stuck on 19 regulation wins and currently tied for the final playoff spot. 19 wins in 76 tries.
That's just awful hockey.
Atrocious.
Putrid. But it was like, I honestly, as Bunk said it on our post game, I'll say it here. It looked like the Leafs playing themselves.
They
was
were
the most
up
Leafy game
2-0
ever.
or 3-1.
Yeah.
And I tweeted something sarcastic about how it both hurts their draft pick and the Lawton pick.
Yeah.
Then they blew it.
Blew it.
Down 6-4, 10 minutes to go in the third, and I was like, reverse jinx that into existence. And they came back.
I even hypothesized that they looked so bad coming out of the third period break that
Took a dive.
that Keith Pelly put in the call to Chief and was like, boys, you got to stop looking so good. And then they came back again.
Your boy goes down in the fourth brick top.
Okay. I know this is Leaf Hour edition, but like, what is going on in the league now?
What do you mean?
Like all these teams that are supposed to be fighting for a playoff spot stink.
Well,
Mid-HL right now. Name me one that isn't.
But this
Columbus, where do they go? Detroit, where do they go?
This year, though, it's kind of been the year of like 4 good teams, which is the 3 in the Central, and then I'm just letting you at home pick another one. And then everyone else is okay. Everyone from 5th to 25th is the same.
I opened up the standings today and was like, oh, the Flyers in the Metro now. Like,
Sure.
I'm like, what is happening in this conference, this league?
It's like who's healthy, who fired a coach and got a hot streak, which goalie played well, but they're all kind of the same. The Leafs included. Everyone's talking about, Macklin Celebrini should win the Hart Trophy if the Sharks get in playoffs, and they're going to finish 23rd.
Okay, so this is a relevant conversation to what you just mentioned, the coach getting fired. And it was a thought I had. You're talking about all those teams at the bottom of the Eastern Conference that are, the bottom of the playoffs, battling for the last playoff spot. And you mentioned Pete DeBoer. Pete DeBoer today gets hired by the New York Islanders.
Mm-hmm.
If we go back in time to December, and I may have asked this on the show before, but I'm going to ask it again. If when they fired Mark Savard, and instead of firing Mark Savard, they fired Craig Berube and put Peter DeBoer in place on that day, are the least one of those teams battling for the final playoff spot?
Yes.
Because I think yes.
Yeah, I think it's a legit question for sure.
Do you think he would have done it?
I just feel like it was never in the equation.
Never.
Ever. Okay? He's still here.
I know,
right?
buddy.
He's still here.
I know.
And could have easily been done with Brad Treliving,
isn't it?
but Craig's got 2 years left on his deal. They might owe him between $6 and $7 million.
Mm-hmm.
It's not an easy decision just to send that guy home and pay him that money.
Well, you're talking about in December or now?
Right? Even today.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, it is. Yes, it is. We're watching the New York Islanders. They didn't owe Patrick Waugh nothing. I don't know what he was making, but
I think it had a big part of why he's still here is because he's got 2 years left on his deal. And right now it made no sense for them to do it then. And it makes no sense to do it with 8 or 10 games like they did Brad Treliving. And Berube's not in a position to go up to them and say, hey, if you're you can't do what Brad did and say, if you're going to do it, just do it now. Just rip the Band-Aid off now. Craig's not doing that.
Well, no, because he doesn't know the new guy may want him. There may be another life for him yet. But
I just can't believe that. Imagine you're sitting here at that same point of the season, and I told you that Patrick Waugh would no longer be employed by the end of the season, but Craig Berube would. You would never have, exactly. You would never have believed me. It's just, it's an up and down.
What do you think happened?
with Waugh?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they really looked bad for a while, like really bad.
Okay, but they woke up in a playoff spot that day.
Well, semantics, I guess, whether they're in or out by half a point. Okay.
They were in.
Well, they had lost 4 in a row.
Okay.
And they had a run
4
of
in a row.
bad play.
I know.
But they went into this season where Darsh had not hired Patrick Waugh. And we knew that last year that Lamoriello and Waugh apparently had some issues. Waugh had talked about the roster not being what he needed it to be. So I think they went into the year with tension and with low expectations. Things went well for a while, but I think kind of that eventually Darsh would have wanted to hire his guy. And when things went off the rail, they eventually talked themselves into being in a playoff spot. They were adding pieces to stay in. And as the bottom came out, they wanted to do what they wanted to do in the first place.
So, yeah, I really, really like Pete DeBoer. And, every time I hear him talk, he's got his coaching record. It speaks for itself in terms of what he can. And if you're doing a quote unquote retool here where you're trying to be good again, is he not the perfect guy for a 2-year, 3-year slow burn? And it's like, you've waited too long. He's gone. He's off the market. I love Pete DeBoer. I would have loved Pete DeBoer to be the coach of the Leafs. Anyways.
Top of the hour, we got Mike Rupp coming up, NHL Network analyst. He'll give us a deeper dive into Patrick Waugh and the whole Islander situation. In the meantime, 25 minutes from now, we'll get our very own Luke Fox, Sportsnet.ca, covers the Toronto Maple Leafs, does an excellent job. Things that you pulled out of Saturday night, including Scott Laughton. Where do you want to start?
Yeah, I mean, there was the moment. First off, Luke Fox wrote an article today, and we're going to talk to Luke about how, Laughton should come back to Toronto. Still wanting him to be a part of it. But it did stand out to me that him and Nyes got into it a little bit. I don't know if you saw that little interaction.
I did, yeah, I did.
And I can't deny that my one reaction is I wonder if Nyes is kind of a punk. I don't know. That'd be good. You don't mind having Travis Konechny on your team, but I wonder if there's anything that stems back to their time together, or if that's just an in the game.
No, I tend to think that. Well, first of all,
do you want to hear Nyes talk about the interaction?
Let's do it.
We have a Nyes clip there, Derek, on the interaction. Nyes clip 1. Good.
Yeah, it was nothing important. So.
Were you surprised he got that fiery?
He's a competitive guy. A little shocked, but yeah, expect him to be competitive.
Yeah, not exactly. Oh my gosh, what a great guy, and we just have a lot of fun and just giving it to each other a little bit. None of that.
I guess what worries me about it is that everyone to a man over multiple organizations is like, Scott Laughton is the man.
The number one
Everyone
guy.
loves this guy. And if Nyes is a guy that Laughton was like, that dude sucks. It makes me a little nervous.
Yeah. But I think this also is something that we have nothing else to talk about. And he was mad in the moment. And like we saw him go after, was it Taves we saw him go after?
Yeah.
And the Jets, when the guy was scoring, he was going out. Like, he's
I punched my best friend in the face.
He's a fiery guy for sure. But at the same time, I'd be lying if I didn't have some of the same thoughts that you did. Right. So I don't know if there's anything there. Kyper seems to think there's something there.
Yeah, I do think there's something there.
I can tell by the look on your face.
Well, no, I don't want to go there because I don't know, but I know that I've played against teams that I've been moved off of, including Flyers to Washington to Hartford to Toronto, and you play your buddies for the first time, and you don't want to look like you're cutting deals out there.
Right.
So you don't engage, but you certainly don't go up to a guy and look like that.
Like Nyes gave him a verbal whatever after they scored, it looked like.
I wonder what he said.
On for another one, eh?
The other
something.
Yeah. Only a third-round pick, eh? That's all you're worth?
The other thing that I thought about, too, is it's a tough year for the Leafs, where it's completely off the rails, and not everybody's going to be happy. Not everybody's going to be thinking that you necessarily did everything you could. So does Scotty Lawton now look at that team right now and judge them a little bit?
For sure.
On why the season was so bad? I'd say yes.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing that struck me is that Scotty Lawton in the year 2026 is as much of an old school guy I can find. Okay? That guy could play of any era. And there's a few Leafs that couldn't play in any era.
No, that's true.
I just wonder, old school guy, and then watching the Leafs on a few occasions this year, whether or not Scott Lawton looked at that team and go, yeah, I have a tough time playing with certain guys.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I just tend to think he's pissed off that they got scored on again.
Yeah,
but
very well could be.
But I mean, like, yeah, you played. You get it.
I think, I can't help and say
that's just me.
No,
I
know.
Not knowing anything.
No, I know.
That's just me going with my ex-player spidey senses.
And I think there's probably something from Lawton where he's pretty upset with how the Leafs experience went, right? Like in the totality of it.
Totally.
It was a not good time. Like hurt him multiple times, didn't get to play enough, crushing playoff exits. Like, I don't know. I thought
I got the clip here.
He had a real potential to be a Leaf folk hero, like that goes down as one of the guys that's more popular in this era, and it just didn't work out right.
He gave Nyes a pretty good shot.
That was not bad, yeah.
Like
from
behind.
A little less buddy. Yeah, well, I don't know if you saw the other angle where Nyes takes the verbal shot at him, but
I love this guy, man.
Yeah.
I love this guy. I love Scott Lawton.
So
yeah,
I'm not afraid to knows it.
I don't know. Would he come back? Is he okay to come back? Would he want to see some changes first? Does he? How much are they willing to pay him? There's a ton before we can jump to a conclusion that it's realistic.
Is the coach going to play me more than 13 minutes?
I think that's part of it. I do think the biggest conversation around the Toronto Maple Leafs right now, and we can pick through that game a bit more if you guys want.
I'm good.
But like the biggest conversation is teams are firing their coach, but because they want to get things right now and jump the queue. Like that's the big thing. Everyone's saying about the Islanders firing is there's not who's out there now. It's Laviolette, Gallant,
Cassidy,
Patrick Waugh.
Yeah,
but like,
that'd be fun.
It's a lot of I want to get to that group first because there's not many perfect fits out there. Like Long Island is an awesome setup, new building in New York, up and coming. 2 first-rounders on the way in Schaefer. Like you can sell a coach on that. I think there's a lot of people going, did the Leafs miss one? And should they do it before the end of the year or soon? And for that, they need a GM. They have to hire a GM or president before they can do that. So where are we at in this GM president search?
Good article on Friday, by the way, Kippy. It was juicy.
Oh,
That was. I hope people didn't miss it on Friday.
It was juicy.
all right. We'll talk about that.
But there's some stuff in there alluding to that.
You bring
Damn right.
up an excellent point. a question of how fast should the Leafs be moving on this, and who are they in a race with? No question that the Islanders went after Pete DeBoer because they didn't want to lose him to anybody else.
There it is.
100% on that one. That if we're not all in on Patrick Waugh right now, then go get the guy that
We have a chance while he's available.
And
Like what the Blues did with Montgomery.
that was
That's right.
Yeah, right?
that was a domino effect from Tortorella in Vegas. So, but those are sound managerial teams with George McPhee and Kelly McCrimmon and Darshan. The island isn't going anywhere.
No.
So those are just easy decisions. Justin just made an excellent point. Like, how can you go hire a coach when you don't even know who your general manager is?
Or if he's going to have someone above him.
The easy answer is you can't. You just can't. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
I am too.
Because I don't want them to make a mistake because they felt rushed.
Yeah.
So what you're kind of getting at is that you don't necessarily want one of the guys' names that are like, you'd want them to do some research and find somebody else that maybe the next up and comer, as opposed to just pulling the DeBoer lever or the Cassidy lever is what you're kind of getting at there.
It's like, is Sonny Meta going to want Bruce Cassidy? That's literally Babcock Dubas.
Yeah.
You can't hire them out of order.
Yeah.
And by the way, the Sonny thing is, I'm just using an example of what could be a contrast in interest.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right? And like, how is a guy like Sonny going to say they went and hired Patrick Waugh, right? Like, can we just not sit from here right now and look at it and go, disaster.
Disaster. Then you have to go get a pro Waugh guy, and that changes your whole search.
God, it'd be electric to have Waugh in Toronto.
It would be unbelievable. I also...
Kippers Clippers would be better.
There's just... I don't think there's just... it's complex, and there's just no easy answer for this. And the best answer is you don't do anything because you're trying to react to the outside influences of the Islanders in Vegas.
Sure,
you
but
just
let's also not drag
it.
our feet, right? Like, I get you don't want to be reactionary, but you also don't want to go, well, we just take as much time as we need. So do you think, initially I think Pelly had said something like they'd like to have someone in place by May. Was it by May or end of May?
I think he anywhere between 4 and 6 weeks.
Yeah.
I think it was before,
it's an MCL injury for the organization here.
Before
the Olympics.
The Combine in Buffalo.
Yeah.
Which we have it,
June.
I think, first week in June.
Yeah. Right. We're not going to Google that one.
So,
But
I mean.
first week in June.
6 weeks?
But 6 weeks is too... Like, if you were thinking about doing this with Treliving and you'd been asking around the organization about what his role is and how he's doing, you'd think that they were maybe having conversations with other people. Like, you'd think 6 weeks is an eternity, fellas.
Mm-hmm.
It's...
Who is having conversations?
Well, no, Pelly was interviewing people around the Leafs, about the future of Brad Treliving. If you're doing that, your thought process is probably of letting him go.
On to the next
one. You would think that they're maybe thinking about who the predecessor would be at that point, as opposed to just being like, okay, this is done, now we're going to start. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
So that would be, again, Keith Pelly going through a process.
Yeah.
And it feels right now like the most common names being circulated to Mike Gillis hasn't worked since 2014 in the NHL. Seems like the name you hear the most. Elliott's talked about it quite a bit. Sonny Meta, outside of him, I haven't really heard any GM names.
Oh, Lombardi. Chiarelli.
Yeah.
Yeah. Peter Chiarelli. Yep. Yeah, they're out there.
Kevin Adams has been said.
Yeah, by me? No,
Yeah.
Freed said it today on, I think or somewhere, and
The other thing, too, is we got to remember is Keith Pelly also mentioned that there's a firm out there, too, that they're going to lean on.
Mm-hmm.
A search firm.
This is how you're going to get Ralph Kruger from Liverpool to come coach your team.
Is that
Southampton?
Right?
Southampton.
Yeah.
No one would have known.
How quickly do you think they move? Right?
Yeah. I mean, they want to keep billing hourly until literally the day the combine starts.
I can guarantee you the firm didn't work on Friday.
Yeah. Oh, we work extra efficiently to save you money,
And they're not making any calls today.
Was today a holiday or is it not?
Yeah.
Is today a holiday?
No, the firm said yes.
It is for government.
Okay, well, they're definitely not working.
Yeah.
No, they're definitely not working.
So it doesn't feel like something's imminent.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd rather it be this way than them announcing somebody that makes my eyes roll.
Do you have any intel on who a favorite would be or anything on that?
No,
No.
and I don't believe they're in a position right now to be leaning somewhere heavily. I think it's wide open.
Okay.
So they're probably then going to be hiring out of the same pool as maybe Vancouver, maybe, I don't know. You can go through the NHL list of teams who missed playoffs, and there's probably a half dozen teams that are looking for a coach.
Nashville's doing in-person interviews now, so
Nashville's sure been
they have
putting
not
in the old college try.
They have not taken advantage of a month-long head start, a month and a half.
No.
Like, how long has it been since Barry Trotz jumped out of a GM chair?
Seattle, Winnipeg, probably looking for a coach, I would imagine.
So,
LA,
before we went
Nashville.
into the conversation with the GMs there, I mentioned your piece that you wrote on Friday.
Yeah.
It was juicy, a few tidbits in there, including what the potential Nyes package could have been, some Morgan Riley stuff. But the name that you mentioned in there that's been really popular is Pronger. And you said that they had a conversation potentially. What was the latest on that when you wrote?
I think just again thrown out a wide net.
Yeah.
And we've had him on the show. He's done other podcasts. Chris Pronger,
Yep.
not shy away from, I think, feeling like he'd like a crack at helping a team.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what capacity, whether or not they'd be pulling the same Hall of Fame kind of hire as Brendan Shanahan. Shanahan had a little bit more experience working at the NHL office too. Pronger,
Also a polished politician of sorts, Shanny, right?
Yeah, he wasn't on Toronto radio saying tear it to the screws.
Prong is a hockey guy through and through here. You know, he still sounds like a hockey guy.
I think Max said it on our show that a lot of people are just want him on the ice.
Yeah, that's totally right,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think through his media blitz here on his book, he's also certainly weighed in heavily on the Leaf situation. I think in many ways he's presenting himself like, this is who I am, this is what I'm about,
Totally.
This is what I can bring, and if you like it, let's have a conversation. If not, I'm okay.
Yeah. He's made $100 and some million. Not desperate to go work for a mediocre team as an assistant coach.
Yeah. I just think for a team that is looking to get back in the playoff mix, he will not get the same benefit that Brendan Shanahan had probably in the first 3 or 4 years.
Right.
Do you think he is a name that other teams are looking at too, not just the Leafs? Like, would Nashville be in on him? Would other teams be in on him?
I believe that Nashville had also mentioned that they're looking for more experience.
Okay.
And Ryan Getzlaf was also, I think, a name that has surfaced around there.
Okay.
Well, one of the questions I have for
he's not selling a book, though, so we haven't really heard from him.
One of the questions I have for these Hall of Fame great players, huge names, confident guys, all of which are things I like, are how much are you willing to work? Like, to really pour over tape. If you're going to be a GM, you need to know what the fourth line of the New Jersey Devils does. Like, how effective are they? Have you seen some of the underlying data? Have you watched some tape? It's like, I truly believe you got to pour yourself into these roles, particularly in Toronto, because there's fans and media that do that, and they'll know. They'll know if you're faking it. So it's work. I don't think this is like, that guy did good shooting it in the net, we need a net shooter for the GM. Like, there's work to be done.
Yeah, it's a great point.
It is, and it all depends on your interview process and how many times you want to hear from somebody and what is their plan, how do they present it, where's their focus. And you can get to learn somebody pretty quick in
Totally.
Over dinners or board rooms or cocktails or whatever you want to call it. And And at the end of the day, whether we're talking about Rogers hiring people here or the Leafs or a hospital, like you're down to a gut feel, right?
Totally. That's one of the things I've learned the most as I get older is in those big rooms making big decisions. At the end of the day, it's a few people going, I don't know, what do you think? What do you think? All right, well, I think it's him. So, you just make a call at the end. There's no data for that.
So,
The only thing also you got to keep in mind is like, what is the true ask here on being a general manager? And it ranges from club to club on responsibilities and boardrooms. And as Brendan Shanahan was the president, he also not only had to watch over his management staff and his Kyle Dubas and the pro scouting, or right down to the coaches, the trainers, the players, but he also had great responsibilities in sales and sponsorship and blah, 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 right? Yeah. And it's once he left and you didn't replace him, I'm not sure how much of that fell on Brad Treliving. Yeah. And whether or not Brad had anything to do with it, nothing to do with it. If it didn't, where was it? Did it all of a sudden go to Keith Pelly this whole time? And where's the ask? So, for example, a lot's been made out of the Leafs and, what is for sale, right?
Yeah.
Waving the flag, sitting in the penalty box, having dinner
in the dressing room.
Yep. So at some point, that has to go from a boardroom idea to a hockey guy. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't Brendan Shanahan. He's gone now. So you assume that goes to Brad Treliving. Mm-hmm. We're gonna sell the dressing room.
No, sorry, our prestigious room is not going to smell like salmon for the boys tomorrow. I'm sorry, we're not doing that.
And that's a valid point. Yeah. But so you hire Sonny Mehta, and Sonny Mehta is going to go up to Keith Pelly and say, I'm not having wine stains by Austin Matthews' stall. Yeah. Or is he just being a general manager and trying to find contracts?
Well, this
and
is why
undervalued,
I think you need a president.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's just, you don't have that problem in Columbus or Carolina.
This is a bigger role.
Right?
It's a way bigger role.
This is a beast. It is an absolute beast. And you got to be very careful, again, who's your hire, what they can handle, how much can they put on their plate, who can collaborate, who can empower. And you don't get the right guy, you're just going back down another rabbit hole.
Well, let me tell you, one of the biggest failings of hockey over the past 5 years has watching the president role become the GM role. The president, and it used to be a president of hockey operations, it was a business role primarily. Brian Burke, I think, maybe did that for Pittsburgh. But to me, a president is running the brand, right? It's your PR staff. It is your corporate sales. It's your public appearances. It's all that's the business of the Maple Leafs. And that's not the job of the guy you want finding an undervalued left winger from, who's actually playing in the Swiss League right now. Those are different jobs. So the president, all of a sudden, that we think it's Gorton in Montreal making decisions or Rutherford in Vancouver. That's not, you're just the GM. And the other guy's the AGM. Who's the president? So to me, it's like you need a president of business and a GM.
I know. But
all this stuff makes me really hopeful they just hire two people.
They eliminated the two jobs and they turned it into one.
How'd that go?
Now you're got to go back and say, I was wrong.
It didn't work.
It didn't work. I was wrong. We need two guys again.
But you don't have to say it because we know it did. And that's okay. I mean,
it was
worth a try.
I've made a huge mistake.
Was there some redundancy there? Turns out not enough to justify eliminating the position. I assume you can get that job hired for less than Brendan was making and Masai was making. So maybe there is some way to do it cheaper. I don't know.
You know what? Yes, you're right. Elliot mentioned that there's no shortage of people that want this job.
Yeah.
And it can't come at, this is how much money I want, or else I'm not going to do it.
Right.
And I don't think Keith Pelly or the ownership should want that, right? That's the first sign that you're in it for the wrong reasons.
One of the things that people liked about Brandon is he had a great sense for the honor, pride of the brand. Right? He changed the logo, went back to an old school, sort of more feelsy old time logo. He dialed in the experience of what it meant to be a Maple Leaf. I felt like he got right. And I think that's an important part of the next person too. So to your point, it's not a paycheck. It's, do you understand what this is in this city? That's important too.
Let's go to break.
Okay, Luke Fox, Sportsnet.ca, will join us after the break. Plenty more on this Leaf Hour edition of our program. Stick around. Welcome back to the program. Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee. Let's welcome in Luke Fox. Luke Fox, Sportsnet.ca. Covering the Toronto Maple Leafs for us all season long. Luke, what's going on, bud? How are you?
Happy Easter. How are you guys?
We're good. Happy Easter to you too, to you and yours. Saturday night. That's it. That's all I got for you. Saturday night. Go. Fun game.
You know what?
Entertaining game. I don't know.
It was better than we went in thinking, right? All of us, I think, the players aren't going to say it, but I think everyone playing out the string or following the string as it gets played out is kind of looking around like, what's the angle on this one? Like, what's the motivation here? And we had that a little bit with the Radko Gudas game in Anaheim. And then you're just like, okay, what kind of meaning can we find in these games? And LA usually plays a pretty low event, dull defensive brand of hockey. So if you showed up Saturday night and you saw 13 goals and some scrums and a bunch of guys that were trying, it was at least an entertaining game. I found it really interesting after the game. I wanted to hang around and watch after overtime to see what the Leafs would do. And John Tavares is not the captain, but he's still the captain. So he was waiting there while the Kings did like their salute to the fans, whatever they do. And it took a long time and he wasn't leaving the ice. So I asked him about it after and he said, yeah, I wanted to talk to Kopitar. I wanted us to send him off the right way. And then Anže, I guess, said, let's do it behind the scenes. Let's have a little handshake moment in the background. It doesn't have to be in front of everyone. But I kind of love that from Tavares. Like, even in this crappy lost season, he still understands the moment that this guy deserves respect. I'm going to make sure myself and all the other Maple Leafs shake this man's hand because he's going to be a Hall of Famer. He's a legend. I just love little touchy classes like that. So you're looking for little things.
And, John Tavares, 30 goals. I mean, it's incredible, right? He's had great longevity being a goal scorer. So looking at that game on Saturday night, I find myself, as you know, that I think they should be trying to get into that bottom five. And in that vein, you should be playing a bunch of kids from the Marlies and all that. They did call up William Villeneuve. By the way, you were like a guy or two away from just maybe one more mistake or one less play made, and maybe you get 0 points instead of 1, but they haven't been proactive on that. Villeneuve, is he going to play? He was there watching, but they didn't put him in the lineup.
Yeah, and they didn't play Jacob Quillen either. Berube said that he wanted Pizzetta just because he thought it could get a little feisty. But you compare what the Leafs are doing versus one of the teams they're in this tankathon with, the Florida Panthers, who are shutting down everyone and playing all the call-ups. And the Leafs are still kind of half in, half out. And I wonder how much that has to do with a coach who only knows one way. Yeah. He's trying to win the hockey game. Are you technically eliminated? Yeah. Craig Berube doesn't care. He wants the 2 points. He's wired one way. And so he's going to play the guys that he thinks are going to get him the win, even if a call-up like Villeneuve is available. Now, in my mind, if you had a clear plan from up top, you would have shut some of these guys down earlier when you realize you're not in contention. Then let's make an organizational decision. We know the coach is going to coach to win every night, but we can take away some of his tools. We can make him play the kids if those are the only ones available. So to me, it kind of just speaks to the disconnect. And I think there's a disconnect with the fan base, because if you're a Leafs fan, you don't want 1 point. You almost got 2 points. And you probably would have, if Joseph Woll didn't play the way he did, you might have ended up with 2 points.
Right.
And that's not what you want. So there's this disconnect. You should absolutely play it. Now, I don't know if Villeneuve's going to get in one of these last 5 games. I think he should. I think he should be rewarded for being a good Marley. And I think you got to see what you have in the cupboard. You got to see what else is the use of these games.
So, Luke, that kind of brings me back to Tavares a little bit here, because he's been on fire since Austin Matthews has been gone. And 3 points Saturday night, played over 20 minutes. And isn't he one of those examples of, okay, why, like, so there's no question now, with this run of meaningless games, his numbers warrant that next season he should start. Those are productive numbers that should start second line centerman behind Austin Matthews come September. But is anyone not comfortable with that now?
The question is, how do you upgrade that position? Who are you going to find to push Tavares either to 3C or to the wing? Who is that guy?
Yeah, to me, you just got to start making good decision after good decision. I don't know if that one is. You're right. I don't know who does it.
But that's Sonny's job,
right?
Right. That's potentially Dean Lombardi's job. That's the new guy coming in who's going to be metric-centric. What's the term?
Data-centric.
Data-centric.
Not that. Whatever you
Metrics.
Data-centric.
Data-centric. Yeah. Like that's who's supposed to fix it.
Right. But I think if I'm that guy, second line center is probably pretty far down the list. I want two defensemen that can slot people down before I want a second line center. I did the exercise last week of looking around second line NHL centers. Tavares is easily top 10. And then when you factor in his cap hit, you might even have him higher in terms of what he can produce. Is he a championships 2C, Nick? I agree with you. No, we've already seen that. But if you're trying to fill holes on the Maple Leafs and make them back in the mix next year, 2C is probably not where I'm starting. I need a winger in the top 6 that can play with Matthews. I don't think they ever really found that. I think they probably need 2 defensemen that can slot guys down a little bit better. And then maybe you're looking at center, but they need center depth for sure. I mean, they traded away Lawton and Nick Waugh.
So tell us a bit about Lawton and your piece that you had on Sportsnet.ca.
Yeah, so I guess the point I'm trying to make is, and I know it's rare that you can bring a guy back after you traded him away. Maybe your listeners can think of another example. The most recent one I found was Antoine Vermette, 2015.
Yeah.
Arizona Coyotes loaned this guy to the Blackhawks. This is a while ago, over 10 years, right? Yeah. It's rare. He goes and wins a cup, signs back with the Coyotes. But the bond between Lawton and his teammates and the city, there might be a path. Now, he's not thinking that way. He's a competitor. He wants to get the Kings into the playoffs and take this thing as far as he can go, and numbers will matter. But my main argument is the Toronto Maple Leafs didn't lose a centerman when they lost Scott Lawton. They lost a really important piece of their culture. A glue guy, held guys accountable, chatty on the bench. Everyone loved him, knew the right time to make a joke. Check a guy, whether his ego was getting too big or whether he needed building up. Easton Cowan said he's changed who I am as a person. The guy was only there a year. And I've never heard an ex-Leaf talked about the way I heard Scott Lawton talked about when I went around and talked to a handful of guys. And I'm just saying, if you don't replace him, and there's a limit to how much you're going to spend to get him, you better find other guys that can improve the culture. Because Troy Stetcher told me, look, the vocalness and the accountability has gone down since we traded that guy away. And those are things the Leafs need more of, not less of.
What did you make out of his exchange with Matthew Nyes?
Yeah. What I made of it is this guy doesn't care if he used to be your teammate or not. And it's funny because that morning, Steven Lorentz told me, he said, he's not gonna take any prisoners out there. That's just how he's wired. He wants to win more than he wants to be your buddy. He'll be your buddy after, but in the game, he's ferocious. So there was the Nyes thing. I would love to know what Nyes said. I asked Matthew, and he wouldn't tell me, of course, and I get that. But I would love to know what he said to make Lawton get fired up like that. But there was that moment, and then I don't know if you guys watched the opening draw in overtime. So the Kings send Lawton out against Tavares, and these guys love each other. Like Tavares is a huge Lawton fan and vice versa. That opening draw, it was almost like Lawton just bowled him over. Like rarely do you see a guy taking a draw that aggressive. He was just like attacked him and worried about the puck second.
Yeah.
And that just speaks to his competitiveness. That's another reason why they could use a guy like him.
Yeah. No, it is something that has been a bit of a shortcoming. So, we're heading down the stretch here for the Leafs. 5 games left. What are positive outcomes? What are we looking for from this Leafs team? 5-0. 5 straight losses.
5-0.
5-0. Is that better or is 0-5?
Well, I mean, if you're a fan and the only thing you're hoping for is lottery odds, is you're hoping for 0-5. But I could tell you, being around those guys, they're hoping for 5-0. They want to see if they can spoil the Ottawa Senators. They want to rain on Alex Ovechkin's parade, and we don't know if this might be his last time in Toronto this week. But I mean, I think if you're an outsider, you want them to lose. You want them to play Villeneuve and Quillen and see what you have there. And that's about it. I mean, it's so bizarre because the Leafs off season is in full swing and there's another week and a half on the schedule here.
Do you think, Luke, there might be a little bit momentum with the thought that Craig Berube could weather the huge storm this season and somehow be there in September for the Toronto Maple Leafs?
It's crazy to say it, Nick. I think there's a chance. I think it's a low chance, like maybe, I don't know, 8%, 10%. I think it's low, but the fact that he's still here leads you to believe that there's a chance. And we all know how GMs work. They don't want to, waste their bullets right away. Matthew Darche waited till, what was it, game 78 to waste his first bullet, even though Patrick Waugh wasn't the guy he hired. We just saw it with Brad Treliving. Sheldon Keefe wasn't his guy. He didn't know him at all. Everyone thought, Keefe and Dubas would probably go out the door together, but Treliving knew that, hey, if I hang on to him, give it some time, the guy knows something, maybe he can tell me something about the players, maybe I'll give him a chance, and then you make the change. So I'm not saying there's a 0% chance. Now, what I believe is that the Leafs and Berube aren't on the same page. They haven't been for a while. If they wanted to save the season, they probably should have done it instead of Mark Savard way back before Christmas. But the fact that he's here this long, you never know.
Yep.
All right, buddy. Great stuff as always. Luke, thanks for your time.
Okay.
Thanks, Luke.
Have a
Appreciate
good
it.
one. All right, take care, guys. Thanks.
Sportsnet.ca's very own Luke Fox.
That's definitely the thing you're bringing to this show today that you think that you didn't think last week. Is that Berube has maybe more. He's not dead yet. Undertaker up from the casket.
I'm with Luke. I don't think it's zero chance, but it's not a high probable chance either that he
The lottery
survives.
odds are better than the 8 to 10 he just gave it.
There's
so.
only one reason he would be staying. It would be financial, right? Like what?
Yeah, well, certainly you couldn't look at performance this year. All of their underlying metrics are in the
horrendous.
tank.
What reason? Give me a reason. Kyper or Bourne. Give me a reason. Give me a reason.
The roster.
The reason is I can't find anyone I think is better.
Oh,
That's the reason.
The roster is not to his coaching style. And he could say, how can you give me that team and expect me to win the way I coach?
I'm putting my foot down.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is crazy talk.
Yeah.
This is like it's professional sports. It's the biggest market. You've had 2 years.
I'm not
It's-
arguing with you.
It's their worst year in
But-
a decade. Like
but-
it's over.
Historically speaking, there was almost zero chance that Craig Berube was going to see game 82.
Yeah.
Most times, often than not, the guy's gone by now. He's just done. But I don't know, he survived this long, and it just makes you wonder. And
Come on.
I don't know if new general manager comes in and he looks at his roster, listens to Craig. Can Craig
New GM comes in and goes,
talk himself into starting in September?
he goes, you know what this team needs? More direct play.
Well, he's looking at
More north-south direct. Yeah.
Sonny Mata gets handed his first report. 32nd, 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 31st, 32nd. He's like, yeah,
Straight.
let's do it.
What if we get Cowan and Robertson really to hunt the forecheck?
Let's get
Bang
pucks
it.
in deep.
It's just a simple question. I wanted Luke to answer it.
Yeah, we're giving you
It's crazy
an
talk.
answer.
It's crazy talk. It's crazy talk.
You're not getting an argument out of me.
I just
Okay.
hope that the reason they keep him is because of finances.
No,
That's
they
the only
can't
thing.
because they have talked about having the resources
Can't
to do
get
whatever they want.
outshot and outchanced every game.
Every night.
Every game, they're just blocking shots. Austin Matthews
And I
is
feel
like
bad because I
a goalie.
like what Craig Berube represents in hockey.
Love him.
I
love the
him.
man.
I do.
I like Patrick Waugh too.
But it's just not.
Hasn't
It ain't
worked.
working. It ain't working.
It doesn't work.
Imagine
So
Patrick.
how many points would John Tavares have finished this year if Austin Matthews was out the whole season?
It's unbelievable.
Another point per game year. I don't know.
Did you like the past?
16, has he got 16 points in 12 games?
I put it on the lineup here.
Yeah.
Yeah, 16 points in 12 games.
Yeah,
Eight.
nice run.
8th, 30th goal. Yeah, it's great. So the Leafs are out of it and they're trying to lose and he turns into Sid. Good job, John. Like, that pass he makes.
Morgan Riley got to 10 goals.
That pass he makes to Cowan on the power play is silly. Through the legs,
That's
touch
the best
pass.
pass I've ever seen John Tavares make.
Yeah.
Guy's snapping.
And he's not a passer. He's not a playmaker. He's
Also,
not a.
Cowan battling for position to get there. That was so great.
I love Cowan, man.
He is really taking strides. The reverse hit in that last game, like he looks good.
If Tavares was available for trade, but he signed a no move for 2 years.
Yeah.
But if he was available, like he would have got you a boatload.
A boatload?
Yes.
Like a
You know the
Like a-
demand at center?
real boatload or like
What's a boatload for you?
like a
first
dinghy load?
A first a first plus.
I don't know.
A first plus.
No way, really?
But he's 70-point guy.
Yeah, but you sit here and you crap on him every game.
I don't crap on
Oh,
him. It's
yes,
just
you do.
I don't crap
Hold
on
on.
him. I don't crap
Hold
on
on.
him. He's competitive. He plays hard around the net. He's just too soft for me, you know, as a confrontational guy. I can't have Austin and John at 1 and 2.
Also,
First one in the pile
be
is Cowan.
non-confrontational guys.
Also, that plus minus, he'd have won the
That's all.
Hawaii Open in Kailua,
That's
wherever
all.
it is.
Was he minus? What is he minus
Minus
26?
competes for his points, play around the net.
Leads the league in puck battles won every year.
All right, we got all week to get into this.
I mean, all
All
year.
week.
We got a lot more to go. Boys.
Mike Rupp, when we return,
God.
we go national. Welcome into the national hour of the Real Kyper and Bourne Show. We are live on Sportsnet, Sportsnet 650 in Vancouver, 960 in Calgary, and streaming always on Sportsnet Plus. Can't catch us live, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube, where you can give a thumbs up for our boy Sammy and JB. Me, I get nothing.
Come on.
And like it.
Come on, bro.
Yeah, no, nothing. That last hour.
No one likes listening to you.
No rewards.
This hour of Real Kyper and Bourne brought to you by Bet365. In a few minutes, we'll welcome in Mike Rupp, NHL Network analyst, former NHLer, Stanley Cup champion. Give us the goods on the New York Islanders.
Penguins too, maybe?
Penguins too. The Washington Capitals. What happened?
Buddy, you can tell us about the Rangers, the Devils. He's all over this stuff.
Our boy Sid with his 21st straight point per game season, which I think is more impressive than 20, 30 goal seasons of Ovi.
He also put Matthew Tkachuk on his keister, which is fun.
Also, big week on the network here on Sportsnet with the Dodgers in town.
Ooh.
Yeah. Gonna be a lot of really nice memories that we get to relive over the next 3 days in the broadcast.
With Heineman behind the plate.
No
disrespect to him, but no Kirk.
I've actually seen somebody, I forget who it was on Twitter, edited it. Like, I don't even want to go down this road, but in the bottom of the ninth inning, Vladimir came to the dish and he hit a very loud out that off the bat kind of looked like it may be leaving the building. Someone has made a edit where that does leave the building.
Leaves.
And so it's like, oh, and the Blue Jays win the World Series. And it's the most heartbreaking thing in the world. So we're going to get to watch that home run that tied it.
You're going to be okay for the next 3 days?
I'm actually, no.
You're going to right back to the smokes?
No, I won't smoke, but I'm not going to watch it live,
okay, good.
honestly.
Good.
I'll catch him in Milwaukee this weekend. Anyways.
So we're going to get Mike Rupp up momentarily, but in the meantime, just your original thoughts, because I did get a number of texts going, Patrick Waugh, is that real? Mm-hmm. Is that a fake?
That was a shocker.
Everybody kind of assumes that something looks legit and it's not anymore because it happens so often on social media. But your initial reaction to, is this true? Or
my initial reaction is I have kind of been sitting on, because I don't watch all the Islanders. I don't follow them the way I follow the Maple Leafs because we have an hour of Leafs every day. But every time I watch the Islanders, they look insanely disorganized. And so I've kind of been waiting to be like, should I tweet something about this wall? Like, ask someone, why do they look this bad? Like, they've got a bunch of veteran guys who know where to stand, to quote Mike Babcock. It shouldn't look this bad. And so for me, I've had that in the back of my mind. Expectations were raised by some early season success.
Okay, and we'll get it. We'll ask Mike Rupp too, but how high were they raised? Was this a playoff team expecting to go to the playoffs? Then why fire him for a 4-game losing streak?
Because, it's not for the 4-game losing streak. It's, we know that we want to move on from this guy. Pete DeBoer is available. Maybe we can get a new coach bump. They've at the worst time of year, if they'd won one of these games, they'd be, in control of their own destiny to make playoffs. So I think if we're going to do this anyway, let's just see if we can't catch lightning in a bottle here and go.
Sammy, you got some sound for us?
Hold on. I'm just texting with our boy, Mike Rupp. Give me 2 seconds. We do have some sound. Did you want to play it now or did you want to play it after we go to Mike?
No, we got time. Is he ready?
No, he's not ready yet.
Okay, then let's have some sound.
Let's listen to Darsh.
There's 2 clips from Darsh. Where are my clips here?
Clip 1 on the decision to fire Patrick.
Clip 1, Matthew Darsh.
Well, it's never one game, right? Like, it's never one moment. You're evaluating the team throughout the year. I just felt like the last little bit here, we weren't as sharp, but we didn't get away with as much as we did before. Because let's face it, we got away with some stuff during the year. Where our goaltender has been outstanding and all that. So I just felt at this moment and the last little bit here that we were sliding a bit. And this is not only about this year. It is partly about this year because do we fully control our destiny? No, but what we control is the 4 games we're playing. So moving forward, I felt put us in a better situation and a better opportunity to win those games, to be in the playoffs and going forward.
So
you happen to have 3 days off. They have 4 home games to finish their season.
And basically what he said there is like, once Ilya Sorokin stopped being a superhero, we started losing, and I did it.
Needed to address the underlying issues. Now, I know you're a big Waugh booster. You really like Patrick.
I do like him, yeah. I mean, could he be in that category of eventually he wears on guys? And
Certainly could. There's
and
rumors of that.
there isn't that sense, though, I think, from a few of the guys that have commented that it wasn't a he lost the room situation. But someone that could probably speak to it better than me is our next guest. Let's welcome in Mike Rupp, NHL Network analyst, former NHLer, and, of course, Stanley Cup champion. Rupper, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, boys. How are you guys doing?
Okay, so scale to 1 to 10, your surprise face on Patrick Roy being unemployed, half a dozen games to go.
I was kind of surprised by that. I think most people probably were, just because of the timeline of it all. I don't know. It kind of takes me a bunch of different places. Like I started thinking to myself, I don't know how many people thought that this would be a playoff team before the season started, and they kind of held that position for quite some time. And I just think that maybe the way the games have looked as of late, like they've had some real question mark games. It's not generating shots, not even getting shot attempts on nets. I mean, a lot of things, and that would insinuate that they couldn't score goals, and that to me has probably been the least of their problems all season long, is that their defending has been bad. So when you combine those two things, I always go back to this, and we interviewed Matthew Darche, and he kind of went a different way with the answer to this, and I don't know if it was him just kind of doing his job and just kind of skirting the question, but I asked him, I said, with the emergence of Matthew Schaefer and what's gone on this year and having a Vezina goaltender, is there some pressure maybe that is new in regards to feeling like you got to strike in the entry-level deal of Matthew Schaefer? And just because, like, all of a sudden you're sitting here and you see how great this kid is and what he is going to end up getting as far as financially, I wonder if that opened up this window right now that maybe pushed things along a little quicker. And he kind of said, no, that this team is, their age appropriate guys are at a certain age where that's what making them go for it now. I don't know if I bought all of that. And maybe now this is just a move where they're thinking, hey, this is one of 3 years, Matthew Schaefer entry level. Like, we got to make a move here just to get in. So I don't know. That's at least where my mind kind of goes.
So, Rupper, here in Toronto, it's been like a lot of indecision, right? Like, they haven't pulled the trigger on Berube when at times earlier in the season you thought they might. They haven't done it with the GM. They didn't make any big proactive trades. Everyone's kind of nervous to move. I've admired Matthew Darche that he's been able to go in and be like, yeah, a few weeks in, Dobson's gone. We're doing this. The coach, like, he's being aggressive. But I will say, on Islanders Twitter, some people are pretty frustrated about the moves they've made, particularly Palat, Soucy, and Shen. My thought, and you can tell me where you think, if you think I'm way off base here, but I think he sees Atchison coming and Eklund coming and Schaefer's young and kind of like not so bad to have some good pros on this team who've been around, have the experience. But what would you say to Islanders fans who see those ads and go, God, aren't those guys past their prime and they don't help us where we're going?
Yeah, I mean, I hear what they're saying. I also think that they're just kind of going what I said. Matthew Darche's comment was on the other thing, is saying that they have, basically paraphrasing, a bunch of 30-year-olds right now that if they're going to win, that's that group's prime or that's the window on that group. So maybe they're just kind of doubling down on that. And I also think that some of those moves too, especially the Shen situation, I wonder if that's reading the tea leaves on an Anders Lee, what the potential of him not being back. I don't know. It's hard to see. Like, this season has been such a pleasant surprise, I think, on a lot of different levels with the Islanders, that in the way the Eastern Conference is, we've talked it, you guys have probably talked it all year long, where it's open, it's available. And I don't think it's the most daunting task, especially in that Metro division, just getting in and making a little bit of noise. So, I understand maybe it's a little bit of a page out of what this Islander fan base has seen for a number of years now, just kind of doubling down on the aging players. But right now, the way that the team is constructed, like, I don't really blame them for it, to be honest with you.
You're watching and listening to Mike Rupp, NHL Network analyst, Stanley Cup champion, talking New York Islanders. So we're all kind of surprised at Patrick Roy gone. And then there's the surprise of Peter DeBoer, who has done everything as a coach except win a Stanley Cup. And, you know, to your earlier point about Anders Lee, who's turning 36, Palmieri, Sazika, Shen, Palat, Pajot, all like in their mid-30s. Like, what is Peter DeBoer thinking about? How close is he going to be to a Stanley Cup on this team? And is that just as big of a surprise that if he was going to handpick and he was at the top of everyone's list as the next coach coming in, that he would go to a team with half a dozen guys in their mid-30s?
I would assume that when you're sitting there thinking about it, that has to cross Peter DeBoer's mind. But then you also have Matthew Schaefer. So like that's the X factor in all this, because you have all that stuff. And there's a lot of players. The way I've always thought and kind of explained the Islanders is, and I've liked them this year. I've really wanted to see them make the playoffs. I still do want to see them make the playoffs. I've always liked a lot of their individual players. I just didn't like them all together, if that makes any sense at all. And so they've been fun. They've been showing a lot of character all year. But I agree with you. I think that is an organization where you can sit there and think to yourself, man, is this really where, like, if Pete DeBoer was going to be, or Bruce Cassidy is going to be on the top of everyone's list and all those things that we talk about, was this the pick that you wanted? I think because of Matthew Schaefer and the term on the deal. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think you sit there and you grab a hold of the opportunity when it's there. Maybe that's part of it with the Islanders too. Like the way this season ends, there's going to be other coaching changes when this season ends. And I wonder if they just wanted to get ahead of everything. But I think Matthew Schaefer gives you that ability to be in the now a little bit, see what you can cook with right now. But then also, you know, those things, Justin, you mentioned too. They got some pieces that are kind of up and coming too. And they got some really exciting pieces coming along. So I think it's a little bit of both, and you got some term out of it.
Yeah, I like that Cal Ritchie they got too, and Simon Holmstrom can play. They got some young guys, kind of a weird somewhere in the middle team. You good on Islanders there, Kyper?
Yeah, buddy.
All right. Well, looking around, let's just stay in the tri-state area right now. The New York Rangers are starting to win every game and look a lot better at an odd time of year. Is it Adam Fox related? What have you made of their sort of resurgence of late?
I'll tell you what, they've been fun to watch. They've got some players that, last week, that Adam Sikora, watching him play, the smile on his face, what he brings to the table. I mean, he had that one game he got a goal, got in a fight in the game, and then he just seems to be providing energy and a youthful movement here. That Hemelash he's a big boy. He can play. Like he can play very big boy hockey, and he's got some really nice skill too. So you start seeing these pieces in there. Will Cooley, we've known about. For me, it kind of makes it a little bit exciting for the Rangers, because I think the fan base has been wanting some of these players to be in certain situations. I'll even go back with Lafreniere, dating back for his whole career. I mean, it's been a team that has had the mindset of being somewhere and not always having those opportunities available for kids. They're giving those under 24, under 23 young players opportunities now. And is it garbage time? I mean, you could say that about around the league. And I don't know how much you look into it, probably more for veteran players, but I mean, this is no garbage. I want to see players thrive, and I want to see a team doing well. So I think it's been great. Gabe Perreault he's talented, and he's getting some really good opportunities now too. So Adam Fox is and the veteran guys there that have been around. I think it's going to be a very interesting summer, because I think that even though that they look like, all right, they've got some direction here as far as some youth getting opportunity, I still think there's going to be a hard discussion with Adam Fox this summer. I think it's going to be Adam Fox led. I think he wants kind of some answers on the future of this team, and I think there could be a trickle down on that. I think that From what I heard, there was stuff with Gavrikov wanting to kind of know the direction here too, and he's the new guy on board. It's not necessarily what he signed up for, and we'll see what the summer brings. But right now, I think it's good stuff. I mean, you're seeing young players; they're playing with energy, and there's times in New York where you didn't always get that energy. So I think it's very good.
Robert, we both have been around as players long enough to have experienced a team that it was expected to do well in the playoffs, a team that was chasing for the playoffs, and a team that was right out of it. And I'm watching around the league now and teams that have shown flashes of pretty good hockey. Detroit, Columbus, even Washington, up until going into New York and playing against the Rangers. And it's like, what happens this time of year when teams start laying an egg? How do you explain it?
I don't know. I don't know how to. It's like you battle. So you see some of these teams, and I know that Buffalo's been the talk of the league, and that's kind of the run that they've been on. Or maybe that's just who they are at this point. But then you start going across some of the other teams, whether it was, you had Ottawa doing it, Montreal doing it. You just start rambling off some of these teams that were just playing such good brand of hockey. Columbus being one of those, and then they kind of just hit a wall, and you start thinking, like, I don't know, in human nature, I'm thinking, man, you battled yourself back into this mix to be involved. Now you can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Like, I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't know how things just fall off like that, and then all of a sudden it's a struggle. It's a struggle in these games, and is it running out of gas? This has been, I will say, this has been the strangest year in the NHL for me, following hockey. I don't know how you guys feel. This is like, I don't know what it is, year 11 or 12. I'm not for me covering hockey. I don't know if I've seen anything like it in both conferences. Everyone's going to say what you want to say about the Pacific, and you've got something there. The East it's just been a very head-scratching season. Now, is it great? Yeah, we got tons of teams that are still involved here, and we've got 5 games left or whatever the circumstances are. That's all great, and there's still a lot of teams in different configurations to get in. But it's hard to realize who's who. How do you know who's who? Like, you sit there and you look, and how incredible. I mean, we're talking about great nights and having, Martone get that overtime winner there for Philly. And all of a sudden you sit there and you look up and Philly's third in the Metro. And at the end of the day, I sit there and I look, I'm like, is Philly a good team? Like, you start looking at some of these teams in here, like, it's the regulation wins. You got teams barely in the 20 regulation wins. Yeah. I'm like, wait, hold on. We're almost at 80 games in almost 75% of the games you can't win in regulation. Like that to me would,
and you're in playoffs.
You're not a good team. Like that, right? Like, but I don't know. I don't want to poo-poo it, because that's just where it's at right now. And I just think the hardest thing is we've had great hockey. We've had come from behind. I mean, I buried the Flyers. I buried I buried these teams like 5 weeks ago, and they're coming back, and I give them a ton of credit, man. It's fun, but I don't know who's who. I don't know who's going to do anything in the playoffs. I would hope that the playoffs would not be kind to these types of teams, because otherwise, what are we all doing? Like,
I know.
All season long.
But they can't all lose in the first round. Like, looking at some of these matchups, someone's going on to the conference final that we're all going to go, God, really?
Yeah, it's crazy, because I was looking at it too, and I love Anaheim, love what they've done all year. But you start combining like their goal differential and their regulation wins, and like usually when we look at the standings, for the most part, you've got, if you're even or plus in the goal differential department, like you're in, and then literally where the cutoff line is, we always see minuses. That, give or take, like you always have the outliers to get in. I mean, we had Washington, whatever it was, 2 years ago, that went in at like minus 30 something. So, and we're going to have it again this year with the minus teams getting in. But at least it gives you a ballpark. Then you look at the regulation wins. And think about this: Anaheim could win that division and have a negative goal differential, not even just like into the red, like significantly into the red, and you could sit there and they could win the division and have 25 regulation wins. You know what I mean? Like that you in right. That division, them having say 25 regulation wins could be like the fifth most in that division. So like there's nothing our measurements or whatever formulas we like to have in our own minds to look up and decide, all right, this team's this or that team's that. Everything is screaming that team's not any good, but they could win the division. Like, so I don't know, man. It's fun. It drives you nuts. But that's where we're at right now.
As far as teams, and I'll include the wild card spots now as we look at Boston and Ottawa and Utah and Nashville. Let's include Ottawa in that mix. By far the best chance to be that conference final team you're talking about, JB.
Yeah.
Give me a team.
What, as far in each, just the conference finals?
Yeah, just to make some noise, and that is legit.
Okay.
You mentioned, what are we doing here if one of those teams can get through, but like, which one is the most legit for you?
Well, for me, it depends on matchup. Like I was sitting there thinking to myself, like if Ottawa can get in, and most likely that'll be wild card 2. As we stand here today, that would be Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
I would be nervous if I was Carolina with Ottawa. I think Ottawa. The way that Ottawa has played this year, for the most part, if they can get if they can get decent goaltending, just average goaltending, I think they can upset a team like Carolina. And Carolina is a heck of a hockey club. Like they are a good team. But I just think that it's certain matchups can be just more difficult. And I think Ottawa could provide that. I think that Ottawa has bigger bodies. I think Ottawa's a little scrappier.
They're tougher. They're no question tougher.
Yeah, so that's the one to me. And if you look at that, I mean, if you're Ottawa and you get absorbed in the Metro, and let's just say in that world that you're able to beat a Carolina, then we got Philly or we got Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean? Like it's not the most daunting path for a team. So I think them, and then out west, it's always been about wild card 1 in the Western Conference. Wild card 1, which is Utah, and I think you got to avoid playing in that Central Division. So that's another one, but I don't know, man. All of a sudden, it's like Edmonton Oilers starting to look like themselves a little bit more now, and you could totally see them going on a run. But there's no team that I would really say would be a surprise to go on a run, except Ottawa. If Ottawa can get in that spot. Now, with that being said, if Ottawa doesn't make it in the Islanders, or the Islanders would go against a team like Carolina, I think Carolina has their way. Like, it's just the matchups, and I think Ottawa would be a tough one for Carolina.
Rupper, how do you feel about the NHL awards here? So the end of the season is over. I don't know, whatever it is, 11 days. And so people got some decisions to make on that. One of the things I'm hearing people say is, like, if San Jose gets in, Celebrini would get my heart vote. How do you feel about playoffs as a kind of a cutoff line for a Hart Trophy winner?
I guess the big thing for me is it depends what the other guys are doing too. You know, if it's a close call, like I've said it all year, and I kind of feel like it right now. Like if San Jose would miss by, I don't know where that cutoff is. Is it 1 point? Is it 2 points? Like, what does it look like from here on out? I mean, San Jose, you got 7 games left. If they are just missing, it's still Macklin Celebrini for me. I just think the way that the award is, the way I perceive it, and maybe that's where I get hung up, and people kind of perceive it a different way. That is what it is. It's Macklin Celebrini. When you go to the next guy on the team, all those things that we've used as measurements in the past, where the point differential between guy 2 on the squad, or just what he's had to be on that team for a team that doesn't have another superstar right now. And that's, but I don't know. I don't know, like, if they end up missing by 5 points, 6 points, does that take it out? I mean, maybe, I guess, yeah. But I just don't. They're that team. I think that the clean cut for me is they get in, that's your MVP. And after that, I think you got a lot of guys you can have in that conversation. If wherever that is for each voter, is it they miss by more than 3 points, then give it to someone else. But I don't know who that other one is, because all year all I've been focusing on is what he's done, and for me that's what the Hart Trophy stands for.
Rupper, one more for me, and that is the fired coach bump. And like, how legit is Vegas moving forward here, that it appears that maybe the shackles are off them a little bit?
Yeah, it's a real thing. I mean, I think it's a real thing. I mean, that one in particular, like, John Tortorella is going to come in there and he's going to say, he's going to demand everybody block shots. Like, that's his first and foremost that he always says, you will block shots. So everyone's going to be blocking shots. I don't think you're going to be changing all that much. I don't think he has changed all that much. And maybe it's just what every coach does is it provides a little bit of a fresh start. You can kind of recalibrate together at the same time. But I've always thought of Torts, especially this time of year, he's a unifier in that room as far as getting everybody thinking on the same page and kind of, they may feel differently about him if he's back in year 3 in January. But right now, as far as kind of uniting that group, galvanizing the group, he's a perfect guy for it. So, I think that all of a sudden now, I mean, you're going to have to start seeing some play on the ice. Longer than a couple games, look like they're ready to be a playoff team, getting the saves. But he's a player he's a coach that I think a guy like Mitch Marner, we know he had the big 5-point night. Brian Boyle and I were talking about it when it went down, and just both of us having Torts as a coach. Like, I think people would probably assume that Mitch would not be a Torts guy. I think a complete opposite. Torts loves guys who have defensive sound game. I know he's not a guy that's going to look a certain way, but he also loves skill. And if you can put those two things together, he'll run with you. He'll play the wheels off you. So I think you'll see a really good Mitch Marner here. And I think we're going to see a much better Vegas team. So, yeah, they can go on a run. I wouldn't be surprised at all if that's a team that's in the West Finals.
Rupper, great stuff as always, man. Thanks for doing this for us.
All right, boys. Thank you.
Thanks, Rupper.
That is Mike Rupp, NHL Network. Does a great job.
Yeah, no, it really does fantastic stuff, and he's thoughtful. I'm a Rupp fan.
And Tortorella is that type of guy that he's also on his best behavior, right? It's a very, very respectful coming in. As Rupper just said, loves his best players, leans on them, and will go absolutely right to Mitch Marner and Jack Eichel and Stone and say, boys, it's your team, go.
Do you think he'll be there next year, Tortorella?
I don't see him going there and having the energy to go through just this short window without thinking long and hard that he wants to be there. And I'll include Rick Bowness as well in Columbus. I just don't think if you've got the energy to do it on a short-term basis, you have it for at least another year.
I mean, it would be quite the ass to say, come coach 8 games for our team and 2 playoff rounds, and then we're good.
Listen, in a perfect world, you'd hire Tortorella and just month to month.
Yeah.
Right? Just like renting an apartment.
Totally.
Right? Fully furnished, month to month. We'll see how we feel at the end of the month.
There's a new Toronto sports fan nightmare looming here. Big time. With John Tortorella being hired there and them getting smoking hot. And like you said, totally empowering Mitch Marner. And Mitch Marner getting smoking hot and him being the best player on that team when they make a deep run in the playoffs to add to this banner year for Toronto sports. My spidey senses are totally tingling on this. Where they were crap. We weren't thinking about it. It's like, well, at least the Vegas Golden Knights aren't very good, and they're not doing very well. And Mitch Marner now, how many points does he have under
6?
Torts? Like, he was unbelievable that game. He's on fire, looking like the best version of himself. It's looming. They just beat the Oilers 5-1 in that game on the second half, the second or doubleheader on Saturday night. They looked awesome.
Yeah.
There's some
the
real
X factors.
concern.
The X factor is like any other team now from here on in. We'll include Colorado.
Sure, goalie.
Right? Goalie.
Yeah.
Goalie.
I mean,
goalie.
Guess what? Oilers don't exactly have Vasilevsky back there. Like, it's... Anyways, game time.
Game time.
Well, I talk about these horrors of the Toronto Maple Leafs here. It's game time presented by Bet365, an official partner of the NHL. Must be 19 plus, Ontario only. Please play responsibly. 4 games on tap tonight in the NHL. I guess highlighted by the late one. 2 somehow playoff teams going up against each other here. Well, I mean, they're not both in the playoffs, but they're fighting for a playoff spot somehow. The LA Kings are hosting the Nashville Predators. The
2 teams are tied at 81 points, both in 76 games. They are 8th and 9th in the standings. This is a big game.
Large marge.
I'm just trying to pull up.
Minus 22 and minus 26 goal differential.
That's insane.
Theater.
I think it's going to go to overtime. So,
of course it is. The Kings are playing.
Yeah. So
31 times.
Yeah, that's an automatic.
So it's probably going to go to overtime. The other thing I wanted to bring up, like I said, the defending World Series champion LA Dodgers in town to come here and parade around and talk about how much better they are than the Toronto Blue Jays, blah, blah, blah. They are here to take on the Jays.
Who's on the bump?
You're not going. Are you going?
No, I'm not going to any of the games. No. I'm not going. It's Max Scherzer on the mound for the Jays tonight.
Oh, my God.
I think it's Robleski for the Dodgers. You have to save the Yamamoto, I think, is Wednesday up against Gosman.
No.
Yeah.
Cannot watch him throw another.
Yeah. The Jays are underdogs tonight, as you would imagine. Plus 110 on the money line. Dodgers minus 130. Jays need to win. Jays need to win in the worst kind of way.
Jays are sick. They're throwing up. They're ill. Physically, I mean, sick team.
It made me ill watching on the weekend, boy. That was Game Time presented by Bet365, an official partner of the NHL. Must be 19 plus, Ontario only. Please play responsibly.
So, if I gave you like 2 of the best seats in the house, you still wouldn't go?
I mean, is that an offer?
Yeah, he'd be there.
Sure.
Okay.
I'll go tomorrow.
Okay, so
I'll maybe
it's
go
not
tomorrow.
because you're emotionally like scarred.
Kip, no, it's emotionally scarred. I don't go. It's April, man. I don't know. It's too early.
I'm just checking on you, Sammy.
It's even when I went there for that afternoon game and it was quiet, it was just felt a little early to be in there. The mood was off and the Jays stink. It's not going to be fun this week, I don't think. So, no, maybe I wouldn't go.
Fair.
Okay, fair enough. All right, we'll take a quick break. When we return, we'll get into the Ottawa Senators and their legit chance at a playoff spot and talk about Leon Draisaitl and his return to the Edmonton Oilers. That and more when we return to Real Kyper and Bourne. Welcome back into the studio. Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sam McKee. Real Kyper and Bourne, National Hour. How about the bump the Flyers are getting with this Porter Martone?
Love them, boys.
3 points in 4 games, including the game-winning goal in overtime. Yesterday.
Zegras totally robbed him of a great Sally. He was turning around.
Well,
I'm
glad he did. Go to your teammates.
I mean, it's their first NHL goal. Turn to the crowd. He's about to drop to a knee, and he puts his arm around him. Let the kid have his moment.
I'm not. I'm old school with the Sallys. Go to your teammates.
He's got to do the thing where he puts. All the kids do it. Yeah.
A reminder: this hour of Real Kyper and Bourne brought to you by Bet365. So he's got how many shots on goal do you think the kid has in 4 games?
I have it in front of me.
3 per game, so 12.
Yeah, 20.
20.
Jeez.
His debut 5 against Detroit, 9 against New York Islanders, 1, and against Boston 5.
It starts like that just make everybody believe that their next draft pick in the first round is going to save the team.
It's also
but you got to get in the top 10.
With him, though, I love this guy for the Flyers. Like, he's got Konechny vibes. He already had a ref grabbing him and basically telling him to calm down. And,
I like that he's 6'3", 214.
Yeah, a lot to like there. I got to tell you, and Flyers fans, cover your ears, him and Cutter Gauthier would have been unbelievable. Just big, shoot it, Flyers,
Oopsie.
That hurts. Anyway, But Martone is still a wonderful addition for them. I've seen people making jokes about Tocchet already looking past Michkov to stare lovingly at Martone. Much more what he was looking for.
But you've said this a ton. That's where you got drafted. You have a lot of respect for the Flyers or whatever. You want them in the playoffs over Columbus or other teams. It's like you want Flyers in there.
You want Philly involved.
Philly rocks. I like when they're involved.
Yeah.
So.
Columbus limping.
Yeah. Well, they got unreasonably hot for a really long time. So.
And you know where their cold spell coincides with Werenski?
Is he struggling or
struggling?
Yeah.
Struggling. I think 1 point in his last 6 games. So between that and if you have a goalie that kind of disappears, and I think that's what happened to Washington the other night. I think this Logan Thompson has masked a lot of troubles in Washington. He's been really good the last 2 years.
I actually think so. Rupper in the first part of the hour was talking about how everyone kind of looks the same, seems the same. How can you tell who's any good? But then you had these weird runs. And if you, play roulette enough, it can come up black 10 times in a row. Columbus getting that hot. Is Columbus that good? I don't know. The Buffalo Sabres, are they going to be this good next year?
You still think they're not as good as
they just give up a ton of chances.
Yeah.
I don't make it up.
Oh no! Listen,
the Anaheim Ducks, they could win the division. Are they going to be back there in that spot next year?
Yeah,
probably for the Ducks, I think. But yeah, there's questions on some of these teams that are having these awesome years where I'm I'm not sure next year's.
Couple more things.
Ironically, the team I do believe in is Montreal.
A couple more things at the bottom of the playoff race there. Did you guys see the Detroit Red Wings come all the way back against the Wild?
Yes.
And then Patrick Kane take the worst penalty of his career? It was horrible. They go in the power play, score with a minute left. The Wild does. Kaprizov goes bar down.
Yeah. What'd you think of, you gotta call it. I think
of course you gotta call it.
But
you think they
I think if it's anyone except Quinn Hughes that he tripped going back, you might have dodged one for the future Hall of Famer. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying that it was Quinn Hughes too.
Detroit has a reasonably they got Columbus, Philly, New Jersey, Tampa, Florida.
But I mean,
it was a penalty.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it wasn't a penalty, but I've been around the game long enough to know that some guys could get a bit of a benefit of the doubt here.
For sure,
Patrick.
Spot.
2.5 minutes left, really, and it's a tie score when their season's on the line.
After he scored a nasty one to tie it, and you're like, oh my God, showtime, and then showtime, hook time, and then the Sens, another defenseman.
Yeah, so Clevin took a slap shot in the face. I'm not sure how.
Indefinitely.
Yeah. Yeesh. They just can't catch a break. Sanderson is back though, so.
They are, I think, the most dangerous team amongst the ones fighting for a playoff spot. I don't even think it's close. The only one is the goalie, Allmark. And you just have no idea when this guy is going to check out.
Totally. But he could also check in.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then you're laughing. Who do you want if you're Ottawa? Let's say Ottawa sneaks in. You got Tampa Bay at 104, Carolina at Tampa Bay 102, Carolina 104. Those are the top seeds. But Buffalo and Montreal both have 100 points. Could be any of those teams.
I'm looking at this playoff picture right now, and I would absolutely love them to just pause this right here. Like
Boston and Ottawa, the 2 wild card spots.
Yeah, you get Tampa against Boston, Carolina, Ottawa, whatever. But then Buffalo, Montreal, and Philly, and Pittsburgh.
Really, really good.
Pause it.
Yeah.
Like, just pause that right here and just go to the playoffs with that. Like, those 2 series would be unbelievable.
The Islanders in Columbus going to mess that up for you?
But,
Detroit?
I mean, some of the best playoff series of the last 20 years. Remember those Pittsburgh Flyers series?
Oh, yeah.
They were circuses.
Sid and Giroux were all over each other.
Circus.
I don't care who Carolina's playing in the
You're
first
picking
round.
the other team.
I'm picking the other team. I'm sorry, but
that's the most Kyper thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, just watching Freddie give up balloons for rebounds is enough for me to go, I'm not sure where you're going.
They got 5 games left, 4 of which are on the road.
And I know a lot was made out of, Keith Pelly's press conference. He brought up Tulski's name. And, I'm like, can we just see what this team ends up looking like before we make him the greatest general manager in the history of the game?
But Kyper, if you're looking at it from a business perspective, that Keith Pelly seems to be looking at a lot of this from a business perspective, as is right, as the president of MLSE, they're consistent. They're in the playoffs every year. They're one of the best teams in the league every single year. And they've won multiple playoff rounds.
And it's no different than what you said about the Toronto Maple Leafs for 9 years.
Exactly. No, I'm not disagreeing with that.
And then midnight strikes.
Yeah, well, or you don't get rid of the guy who helps you get in the fight every year. He's been there since 2020.
Yeah. No, and
I shouldn't say that. He's been there since 2015, but
are you just changing the goalie away from this team getting better? Is it just getting one more power forward in there? I'm not saying that they're on legit, but I see some flaws in their lineup still.
I think if you're ever going to point to a year, if we're doing a Carolina conversation, I think if you're ever going to point to a year that's their year, it has to be when Boogeyman's not there. Because they have coasted through the Metropolitan Division for a couple years in a row here, where I can't even remember they beat the Caps and they've beaten the teams that they've had to beat. And then they get to the conference finals and it's Florida, and Florida runs them over and they have no chance in that. Florida's not there. I know Tampa plays a similar game, but they're still not the Florida Panthers. I don't know. If they're ever going to have their year, it feels like this kind of has to be it.
I do feel like one of the silliest things you can do is be like, they just go to conference finals. Like,
you know what I would do for the Leafs to go to the conference final every year? I don't know. I get why, from a business perspective, what the Carolina Hurricanes do would be incredibly enticing. Have 105 points every year.
I think nerds would tell you that, it all kind of comes down to when you get in playoffs, there's some breaks involved, and goaltending certainly is one of the elements, but you just kind of got to be in the fight and hope your number comes up.
Kyper, what'd you make of Frege on headlines on Saturday saying that Nashville's like, hey, can we talk to him? And they said, no.
That is strange. Nashville would ask to talk to their GMs. Like, he's our, what?
It happens all the time.
Does it?
Yes. Yeah.
Like just a perfectly successful guy. They're like, we talked to the guy that's doing great for you?
Before.
No.
Hey, good chat.
You don't think Toronto's making calls right now to teams with guys under contract? They're just, you want to get out of a contract? You have some money issues. You got some cash issues.
Yeah.
We can take them off your hands right now and completely wash you of millions of dollars.
Sam,
those are real conversations.
So you're talking about like GMs that are having success
Sure.
somewhere else, and you say, hey, look, you guys are, he set you up. Can we have him now?
Like the Leafs, would they be talking to somebody? that's under contract? Like, what if
Yes.
what if Tampa Bay loses in the first round? And John Cooper coach leaves next year. They talked to him about that.
I can't see that, but keep trying, Sammy.
I've only tried every year the show's been around.
Brisebois that you have.
Boy,
there.
he's doing pretty good.
Is he available? How about Bill Zito? Bill available?
It's Sonny and Bill together.
What's the worst that can happen?
No, yeah, you're
They
right.
say no.
Yeah, this is the same thing about just asking the pretty girl out. It can end pretty badly and end in it doesn't always just get a no. But I do think it's worthwhile, certainly, to pursue those guys. The Florida Panthers front office, heavily coveted right now. Obviously, Sonny's name involved. And then who's the other gentleman there?
It's kind of like in the NFL where there's a successful team. Like, for example, Sean
Brett Peterson.
Sean McVay from the Rams. Every hiring cycle, they're just like, get the offensive coordinator from the Rams, from Sean McVay. Like, when you have success and you look like a good organization, everybody just wants to pick off your guy.
That's the ultimate rising tide raises all boats thing.
Yeah.
Like, you win and everyone's like, can we have your guys? We'll pay them more.
Shout out to the Buffalo Sabres clinching a playoff spot,
Yeah.
ending the longest drought in NHL history.
That building is going to be rocking. The only concern I have for them, boys, is we talked about the playoff matchups. If it's the Habs, it's going to be 50% red.
Yeah, that's a tough fight.
Like, it just is. Like, they're going to take over. And they're going to do their little thing where they try to sell to only this team and all this stuff. But les habitants, those fans are going to find a way.
I
boys.
do wonder, though, if Buffalo fans aren't also willing to match that ticket price that whatever Montreal fans are willing to spend and just say,
They'll go above.
think so?
Don't you think? Like, would that be a
14
worry?
years of saving money here.
It should be
Have a
14 years.
couple.
They spent it all
Oh
on
my
Josh
God.
Allen. They spent it all on the Bills playoff
Right.
games.
Yeah,
Orleans,
that's right. Compound
Samuelson,
interest,
Byram Power,
money
Stanley
doubling
Shen.
every 7 years.
I don't know. That would just suck. Like, I mean, much like the Ottawa Senators last year, they did an okay job of keeping Leaf fans out of there,
Yeah.
but there was still a ton, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess that's just the breaks. You're happy to be in the playoffs.
Kind of unavoidable. I think if you're Buffalo, you'd rather see Montreal than Tampa.
Leon Draisaitl. It's okay. I bet you he comes back game 3 or game 4. I think he's,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I mean, doesn't he have like the most famous pain threshold? Remember he played, was it the Flames?
I
when he
would
had
rush
like
that guy back.
He had like 15 points on a sprained ankle or whatever. Like
Yeah.
he's,
And they're likely to draw Utah. Ooh, is the wild card one. That's a tough series.
yeah, that's oil and 5
Oil and 5
for me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. These guys just have proven to me that there's going to be a switch.
You know, if the Oilers, if you spotted them 20 points right now, still wouldn't be the number 1 seed in the West. Colorado at 110 already with 6 games left.
Yeah.
See you later.
And just, we mentioned it a little bit before we got to Rupper, but just a word on Sid, boys. 21 straight point per game seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Still looks as good as ever. Goalie scored on against I think it was against Florida, where he comes down the wing, snaps it over the corner.
You see the clip the Penguins put out of Gino, and I assume it was Gino's son.
No.
Yeah, and he was talking to Sid, and Sid was like, "Did you watch warm up?" He says this to Gino's son, and he goes, "No, Dad never scores when I watch warm up." And Sid was like, "Okay, good, do that more." You know, like he was like immediate, instant into superstition mode. Such a hockey guy. Good, don't watch warm ups anymore. Savvy.
He's going to go down for me as the greatest ultimate pro NHL player I've ever seen.
I think he's up to 7th in all-time points.
And I'm just talking about the way he carries himself. And that's not a knock against my era of Gretzky and Messier. And it's not, it's just, it's more, it's harder today.
It is.
Yeah,
right?
totally.
With
Totally.
all the distractions and the money and the pitfalls out there. And this guy is just
I don't know
pushed
anything
it
about
all
Sidney Crosby.
aside.
What did they say about Nick Lindstrom? They called him Mr. Perfect or Perfect Human. Sid's the same way. Like, has there ever been I don't know. My favorite player of all time.
This is not to like jinx it, but like there was a time where I felt like Tiger Woods, all he cared about was golf. He was a golf robot.
Please don't mention us doing this.
No, I'm just saying, like, we didn't know. This guy is a machine built to whatever. And then it was like, oh my God, he's the complete opposite.
Hopefully there's no Marine training in
We're
Sid's future.
21 years into Sid's career. I don't know anything about the man.
doesn't have social media, goes back to Dartmouth in the summer.
Yeah.
But his teammates know everything
Of
about
course,
him.
but it's like
and,
Scotty
right?
Scheffler, where they're like, he has the opportunity to have all the trappings of fame, and he's just like, I don't really want that. I'm just going to shoot it in the net.
Yeah.
Before
Makes me like them even more.
Totally.
Before we go, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention this. My sister, huge birthday today. I don't know if she wants me.
I know the number.
I don't know if she wants me to mention this on national television. It's 50. My
Happy
sister,
what's her name?
Jackie.
Birthday.
My big sister Jackie turning 50
Jackie
today. Yeah. Burns.
McKee.
Her last name's Burns.
Oh, it was
Burns.
McKee.
No, it's not. Anyways, happy birthday, Jackie. I love you. I'll see you tonight for dinner.
All
Big
right,
deal,
there
man.
you go.
Happy birthday from all of us.
And she looks younger than me. So, like, multiple times we've gone out together, and they've been like, oh, is this your little sister? I'm like, no, it's
She's
not.
doing great.
Anyways, there you go.
Buffalo at Tampa tonight, and Nashville, LA are the must-watch games. Buffalo, Tampa, really the only one.
All right, and of course, the LA Dodgers in town. A win tonight, Sammy, and
Scherz is
everything's
a competitor, man. He's
everything's
gonna be
fair and
ready.
square, right? With a win tonight.
We're all even if they win tonight.
I'm just not panicking. It's too early to panic.
Our thanks in our Leaf Hour edition to Luke Fox and Mike Rupp from the NHL Network. All right, not overly busy tonight with 4 games on tap tonight. Find yours and then join us again right at this very spot. It's a real Kyper and Bourne show. If you get a chance, give us a ratings and review. We'd love to hear from you. Have a great night, everybody.